Britain wants to boost trade ties with Africa after it leaves the European Union, a project some have called Empire 2.0. But British hopes could face resistance in many African countries. VOA's Henry Ridgewell has more from London.
Britain says after leaving the European Union, it is going global. On a recent visit to Uganda, Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson said the first stop would be its former colonies.
We are re-entering the Commonwealth, re-entering the rest of the global economy.
That re-entry has been dubbed Empire 2.0 in Britain, but in many former colonies, memories of British rule are at best mixed, says British lawmaker Kwasi Kwarteng, a key figure in the campaign to leave the European Union.
The Empire has a mixed legacy, so to try and relive that past, I think, is a completely ridiculous and forlorn exercise. But what we can do is to try and use those relationships that were forged, some of them through the Empire and then latterly through the Commonwealth.
The British Empire's legacy continues to be debated decades after its collapse. In South Africa, statues of the colonialist Cecil Rhodes were torn down in 2015. Despite atrocities such as the brutal suppression of the Mau Mau uprising in Kenya in the 1950s, Kwarteng believes the old links forged in empire days will aid new trade deals.
There's a vast world out there, nearly 80% of global GDP, which is outside the EU. And a lot of that GDP is taken up by Commonwealth countries.
Critics say almost half of British exports go to the European Union, $288 billion worth every year, but exports to Africa total just $21.3 billion. To boost that trade, Britain wants quick deals with emerging economies, but African nations should be cautious, says Matt Grady of Tradecraft, which advocates fair trade and global justice.
African countries have indicated that their priorities are regional integration and cooperation. So now is not really the time for the UK to be trying to negotiate deals with African countries. That will undermine those priorities. It will undermine their ability to develop their manufacturing and their processing sectors.
Brexit poses other risks. Britain imports $9.7 billion worth of goods from Africa, including produce like coffee from Kenya or wine from South Africa.
Producers in developing countries, they don't know what tariffs they're going to face to sell into Britain. They face uncertainty around that. That means that supply chains, decisions are being made now for 2 years down the line on uncertain conditions.
Citing that uncertainty, the head of the African, Caribbean and Pacific group of nations said this week a free trade deal with Britain should be delayed until at least 6 years after Brexit. Henry Ridgewell for VOA News, London.
In Nigeria, some entrepreneurs are cashing in on the breeding and trade of an unusual creature, the giant African snail. The snail is native to East and West Africa and is sought after for its nutritional and cosmetic qualities. Let's go to the market and take a look.
Oluwatobilola is preparing to ship her first consignment of 1,000 snails to the United Kingdom. She has spent about $4,000 to procure this consignment and expects to make a healthy profit. Shipping of livestock requires traders meet strict regulations. This cargo company regularly handles her livestock shipments and guides her through the lengthy process.
The export business came when I started here in Lagos, and I had a lot of inquiries from the US, from UK, from Holland, like a lot of Nigerians. Like even when I knew that I'd not even covered Lagos, even till now I've still not covered Lagos, So when I started having inquiries via email, via phone calls, then a lot of African stores were calling me, oh, can you supply us? And in my head it just clicked that, oh, there's a market.
Despite the fact that the modalities do not come easy, Oluwatobilola still keeps up her game, from sourcing in large quantities to getting the right people to freight the goods.
I I could get a freighting company that was reliable, it took time because, at the end of the day, you're expending a lot of money into this. You don't just want to do something wishy-washy, and at the end of the day, your life savings just go down the drain.
This 19-year-old farm is one of Oluwatobilola's suppliers. It currently breeds over 20,000 free-range snails in shrubs and wetlands. The hermaphrodites roam and feed on greenery around the farm. The mollusks are increasingly being sought for their mucus, full of collagen, glycolic acid, antibiotics, and other compounds that regenerate skin cells and heal cuts. Snail meat is also said to be nutritious. Its low cholesterol and richness in proteins make it a popular delicacy in various cultures. Tadzio Kiria, the snail care farm managing director, says demand for his snails has been growing fast in recent years.
Because of its amazing benefits, not just nutritional benefits, but other benefits. Like, for instance, the slime now is being harvested massively and used in cosmetics and pharmaceutical products.
For Oluwatobilola, her only desire is to expand her business, open a snail factory in Nigeria, and take snail meat processing to another level.
It's time now for another break, but here's a reminder to visit our website, channelstv.com, for our local news and program information. You can also find us at youtube.com/channelsweb. Still to come, there's celebration in northeast Nigeria as locals see a long-awaited return of relative peace. We'll see that story next. Stay with us.